we all just do that together?
Yes.
Please. Sometimes just the breathing obviously feels really good doing it yourself, but then hearing other people do it also makes it that much more grounding. So let's do it together. It does feel like a sound machine, doesn't it?
Yes.
The 405 sound machine. I wonder if that would help
Calming
Bowie.
our spirits.
That might help Bowie sleep.
Yes.
That could be great.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I invite you to close your eyes. And just think about how maybe this Shabbat will help us maybe renew ourselves, even if just a little bit, just renewing something. Let this Shabbat feel new and special and different. And I offer you this reading. Make for yourself a quiet place beyond the noise and chaos, a place of refuge and retreat. Make for yourself a prayer place beyond the fear and doubt, a place of comfort and calm to renew your heart. Make for yourself a healing space beyond the shadows and grief, a place of hope and love to renew your soul. God, teach me to use my moments and days as acts of renewal, drawing your divine energy into my life so that I may serve you and your creation with the fullness of my being.
Amen.
We'll join together on page 344 as we sing a new song. Let this song be new for the Shabbat. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Page 344. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash.
We are moving back in our prayer books to pages 20 and 21. We are going to join together in words of Lecha Dodi, our entrance into this Shabbat.
Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat mekabela. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya
hands and face the entrance.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יא אליי אליי, יא לה 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 לקראת אותי, יא לה 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 לקראת קלה, יא לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת מקבלה.
There's this tension on Shabbat because on the one hand we have these words, my favorite words in our liturgy that we just said for Lecha Dodi, Hitowari, Kiva Orech Kumi Uri, and it's saying awaken, awaken, like it's shaking you. Get up, become alert to what's happening in yourself and in the world. And then we move into our Baruch Hu, and again, it's, are you fully present here? Are you alert? Are you in this? And so we have this agitation from our tradition, but yet so many of us feel like we're a little too awake to the world, that the world can be and feel like too much. And so on the Shabbat, it's holding that tension of both, we can't hide from what's happening in the world. We need to be awakened to it. We need to confront it. We need to act on it. And at the same time, we have the peace of Shabbat that gives us that restoration so that we can indeed move back into the world. And so whatever it is that you need as we move into our Baruch Hu, this is sort of our invitation, the call to worship we say, whether it's you need a little bit more of, get your tush going, awaken, or whether it's you need a little bit more of some peace or some calm, whatever it is, this is your chance to offer that to yourself and to one another. We're on page 28. We love it.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
He really took to
Yeah.
the awaken. See, this is our inspiration.
That Shabbat bride, we're here.
Exactly. We are moving to the bottom of page 31. The bottom of page 31. And let's read together as we recognize this threshold. 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv,
Aravim.
Aravim. On the top of 33, we'll continue together. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
The good in us will win over all the wickedness, over all the wrongs that we have done. We will look back at the pages of written history and be amazed. And then we will sing and laugh, and the good that is in us, children in their cradles, will have won. Our hearts beat with certainty that there is a day and an hour and a mountain called Zion, and that all of the sufferings will gather there and become song, ringing out into every corner of this earth from end to end, and the nations will hear it, and like the caravans in the desert, will all to that morning throng. We're on page 40.
Yai lai 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 lai.
There are moments in our lives where we just need to sing and we just need to dance. And then there are moments in our lives where we just want to be held, where we just want to know that it's safe and that we're going to be okay and that we have something or someone that can hold us. And so that's what Hashkivenu is doing. It's wrapping all of us in whatever it is that makes us feel seen and known and loved and okay. And so whether you're calling to mind a particular place or a particular someone, or just knowing that you are not alone in this community, we're going to join together and make our own Sukkot Shalom, our own shelter of peace amidst this very chaotic, painful world. We'll do that together on our supplemental page, Words of Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, L'Shalom, V'ha'amidenu Malkeinu L'chaim, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen.
We'll move into our Amidah on page 46, and if you're able, we'll invite you to please rise.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot ve'imachot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav le'Hoshia, Morid hatal. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Mi chamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol.
52.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yechalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We'll continue with words in the prayer book through page 62 for the Amidah, or you can just take some quiet time for yourself and be seated whenever you're ready. This is a poem called Good Morning, Tent Dwellers. It's by Rick Lupert, and it's inspired by the words of blessing from this week's parasha, how matovu, how goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. When I sing these ancient words with sometimes the newest melodies, I like to ask the singers, sometimes our youngest Red Sea pedestrians, how many of you live in a tent? Some young, wondering whippersnappers always raise their hand, as it's fun to say things which to them sound ridiculous, whether they're not, or whether they're true or not. I tell them back when we all lived in tents during our 40 years of homelessness, long before the word unhoused was a thought, these are the words that we say to greet each other. How goodly are your tents was the good morning, the what's up of its day. Not the intention of the original speaker, who came to say terrible things to us, but charged up by the glory of God, or whatever they called it back then, all he could say were blessings. What if we could only say what we should say and not what actually comes out of our mouths. What rages would we prevent? What opportunities would not have gone away had we not said that? It is difficult to not speak in the moment. Rarely does a supernatural force guide the right words from our lips. I regret almost every verb I've spoken. Take a pause. Intentionally turn your curses into blessings. Let the good things you say be like gardens and rivers. Good morning, my friends. Your apartments and condominiums are awesome. Like aloe, like the sweetest smelling trees.
Yehiyu leratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri vego ali Yehiyu leratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Turi vego ali Yehiyu leratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri vego ali
This week's Torah portion, Balak, is named for a Moabite king who, alarmed by Israel's growing power, contacts the famed prophet, Balaam, a little confusing, to curse the Israelites so that he might drive them out of his land. Balaam, the prophet, receives a vision from God, instructing him to refuse Balak's request. Do not go with them, God says. You must not curse that people, for they are blessed. Balak, the Moabite king, then sends more esteemed dignitaries who inform Balaam that he will be rewarded with riches should he consent to the king's request. Enticed, Balaam asks God once again if he should fulfill Balak's request. And noticing Balaam's determination, God reluctantly consents, but the text tells us that God was incensed at Balaam's going. God then places an angel to redirect Balaam from his path, but time and again, Balaam disregards God's signs and warnings, proceeding towards the Israelite camp to curse them. Even though he already knows that God doesn't want him to curse the people, Balaam still chooses to believe that he can simply push through toward fame and fortune. Instead, Balaam becomes a seer who cannot see. His own donkey must ultimately warn him of the angel confronting him because Balaam doesn't even notice it. By privileging his vanity over his morality, Balaam becomes blinded by his lust for wealth, for power, for influence. In the end, despite the seer's best efforts, God replaces Balaam's curses with words of blessing for the Israelites. And chapters later, Balaam meets his final demise. Balaam's insistence to ignore God satisfies his own ambitions, but ultimately leads to his downfall and earns him the disdain of our ancient rabbis. In Pirkei Avot, the sages teach, whoever possesses these three things, he is of the disciples of Abraham our father. And whoever possesses three other things, he is of the disciples of Balaam the wicked. A good eye, a humble spirit, and a moderate appetite, he is of the disciples of Abraham our father. And evil eye, a haughty spirit, and a limitless appetite, he is of the disciples of Balaam the wicked. The Talmud offers us further insight into the rabbis' real contempt for Balaam. It asks, what is the meaning of the name Balaam? Before answering, it means below am, a man without a people. So what makes Balaam a false prophet according to our tradition? It's that he has no loyalties. He's a prophet for hire, devoted only to himself. A talented sorcerer, Balaam is well known for his many gifts, but he isn't concerned with morality or allegiance, not even with following the word of God. He's concerned with his own profit, his own ego, his own upward mobility. Unfortunately, we see echoes of Balaam throughout our modern day society. From business leaders who sell their influence for promises of material gain, to judges and justices who brazenly sabotage the law in exchange for favors, to leaders who see themselves as invincible, thinking that they can ignore the dictates of morality and push their way through, like Balaam, to fame, to power, to fortune. But they're not alone. We too, all too easily, can privilege ambition over morality. When we compromise our values to further our aims, when we make choices that feed our insatiable egos, when we try to keep up with what society tells us we should want, when there is never enough to satisfy, and we constantly yearn for more wealth, more followers, more notoriety, more accomplishments, more status, more and more and more. Small, everyday choices that may seem like nothing, over time, they become who we are. There are times when we may wish to rationalize betraying our morals for material gain. After all, it just seems so normal these days. But in the end, such pursuits are hollow. Every time we choose to become a little bit more like Balaam, we lose a piece of ourselves. Author Stephen Covey teaches in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People that one of the ways in which we live our most authentic lives is to begin with the end in mind. In the world of education, we call this backwards design. In this case, Covey encourages us to imagine our funerals. For some of us, that feels a little close, a little too close, and probably even scary. And for others of us, more distant. But Covey encourages us to imagine. Who do we want to be there? And what do we want these people to say about us? By answering these questions, we develop values and principles that can serve as a guiding force for the choices that we make today. Author and New York Times columnist David Brooks famously calls this process cultivating our eulogy virtues. Too often, he suggests we focus on those resume virtues, those qualities that help us achieve our external goals, our ambitions. However, if we wish to be fulfilled, if we wish to live a life of character, he warns we must focus on our eulogy virtues, those qualities that truly matter when we look back on how we lived our lives. Qualities like kindness and like courage and integrity, which don't always score so well in the American marketplace. But as someone who spends a lot of time at funerals, who learns a lot about life at funerals, all I can say is that even at the funerals of the wealthiest and the most prestigious, few speak of their awards or their successes or of their titles. They speak of their character, of how they loved, of the values that guided them, of how they served others with generosity and humility. It's not easy. We're living in a frightening time as Jews and as Americans, and we don't always know what we're supposed to do about it. This is an hour in which we're called upon to act with determination, and we certainly must act. But we're also always called upon to do something else, something that we all too easily can forget, to reflect on who we are, to consider if our choices serve our morals, if they serve that vision of ourselves that we seek at the end. The famous Hasidic teacher, the Baal Shem Tov, offers us a revelatory interpretation of Balaam's famous blessing over the Israelites. When Balaam says the words from our morning liturgy, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael, how goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. The Baal Shem Tov teaches your tents, your external appearance, must be that of Jacob, a lower level, while your dwelling places, your interior, must be the level of Israel. We focus a lot on our tents, on our external lives, but our Hasidic teacher reminds us that we cannot neglect our dwelling places, our interior lives as well, those eulogy virtues. Only by recentering our lives around our moral values, not simply our external pursuits, only by imagining who we are and how we want to be remembered in the end, can we see that sacred path that Balaam could not see ahead. And in so doing, transform ourselves and certainly our world in the process. Shabbat Shalom.
We can use our words and our actions to change the world by helping others and by sending love and kindness and healing to those in our lives who are in need of it, be it of body or of mind or of spirit. We have this opportunity every Shabbat. In fact, we have this opportunity every day, but we like to mark it on Shabbat, where we say a blessing together for those people. And so I invite you all, if you're thinking of anybody today, to share their names with us so that we can take them into our hearts and link them together and send them what they need. I'll start over here, and if there's anybody, please share their names. Yeah. Nancy? Join together, middle of page 253, in our prayer for healing, the Misha Berach. Misha
rise together for our liturgy's call to action. Aleinu literally means it is on us. It's on all of us. On page 282 as we rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
Words from Rabbi Richard Levy of blessed memory to prepare us for Mourner's Kaddish on the top of 291. It's hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one, whose life now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, and in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. As we recite Kaddish this Shabbat, we especially remember Lauren Simon, niece of Cantor Patty Linsky. And we join her name with Robert H. Aaron, Lottie Altman, Winifred W. Beck, Florence Bell, Sarah Bennett, Fanny Billett, Harry Convisor, Marilyn Curie Fricks, Tobette Eleanor Doroshow, Grace Aline Echeto, Anna Flesh, Ida Fry, Philip Goldman, Judy Gorodetsky, Esther Gutlin, Ethel Gutman, Roberta Howard, Robert Jaffe, Lillian Ruth Kaufman, Eleanor Ellie Kaufman, Benjamin Harris Lautman, Rita Levin, Linda Hope Lewis, Hyman Lieber, Morris J. Merkin, Fruma Peled, Karen Peltz, Lucille Polachek, Louis Price, Mildred Schultz, Erwin Segan, Israel Snyder, Min Tesler, Geraldine Turkanek, Ruth Wax, Ann Warner, and Lily M. Worth. If there are other names that we should add, please say them aloud at this time. We also think of all of the victims of violence in this country, in Israel, in Gaza, and in far too many places in this world. We'll join together as one community in words of memory and words of Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 294. And I'll invite those who are able, again, to please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'amad yivrach yerutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudasha barechu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru
Amen.
amen. Zichronam levracha. May their memory be a blessing to all of us.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.